Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is a rapid fire video. I'm going to start real quick with the price of Bitcoin. And basically, long story short, I've been talking about a few different ideas, and one of the ideas suggests that this is a flat. So we have an A, B, and a C, and now this is a 1, 2, and now we're getting ready to get going much higher. That would be the first idea for Bitcoin. The second idea for Bitcoin, let me zoom in to a smaller time frame here, is to say that this correction is still correcting. And basically, we're looking at some type of A, and now we have a B wave, right? And now we're going down for C. And then we go much higher. So those are kind of the two ideas. Now there's caveats, there's sort of, so that was idea 1 and idea 2. So basically idea 2.1, I guess you can say, it's not an idea 3, but basically saying that the C wave does something like that, right? So essentially it would be a rise, crash, retrace, right? So this whole wave is our retracement. Then we come down into reaccumulation, and then we kind of go flat a little bit here, and then we start to accelerate. So something like that. And it might create some type of cup and handle pattern. We'll see. If I'm leaning towards any idea, it would probably be that one. If we start to break below here, then at least we can rule both of those out and say, okay, now it's pretty likely that this is going to be an ABC. Basically, taking the C leg and putting it down here, right? So either way, in my opinion, I think it needs more correcting. So I think we still have some work to do. You can see the price of Bitcoin is not getting above this retracement level. So let me put it right here. I'll put it down to here. And you can see it is struggling. So basically we have 1, 2, 3, 4 8-hour candles. So what is that, like 40 hours or so? Struggling to get above that area, and you can start to see, these rejection. So probably we're gonna pull back. We might pull back, and now this gets into more complexity because the more I zoom in, the more differences can occur. If we do pull back, we can always hit the high. If we do that, and that could be the end of the B wave, right? Or it could be, the beginning of a third wave, right? So, for example, it can be A, and then we get one more high, B, then we go down for C, or A, B, get one more high, then come down for reaccumulation. See what I mean? So, let's see how it gets worked out in here. There's always a chance also that this can pull back and we can back test, these areas in here. So right off the bat, something like this right in here. And I'll put another line right about there. So somewhere in that zone between 67, 68, get a retest, and we'll see how the price reacts, because right now it's still bullish, right? It's still hanging up out here, but it's not getting through it. So usually when that happens, either we continue to go sideways, break out, or we need to come down and back test certain areas, then continue, right? But if we start to break below this, so let me put a fib retracement here. If we start to break below this zone right here, right down in here, I could get rid of that. Then I would probably consider the ABC. So basically, long story short, let's stay above this this green zone we have here. If we could stay above that, then the likelihood is a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, go. Or, we flag out and just continue marching higher, right? I mean, the basically the goal is to break the top, right? If we could do that, then we're in good shape. But until then, we're not breaking the low, we're not breaking the top, so we're just correcting. Corrections, like I said, could take on many different forms, but the main idea, right, would be an A, B, C, or rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, go, or continue to go. So those are three ideas that I have for Bitcoin. Now, I started with Bitcoin because I want that to set the stage for what I'm about to tell you with the altcoins. By the way, I haven't even looked at the charts. I just added them to the list. If I missed your comment on what chart you want, then just do me a favor and drop the ticker symbol. So don't say the coin name, just put the ticker symbol, like BTC or LTC or ETH, right? And then I can easily find it. But if I missed it, just go ahead and drop it again. But yeah, so I start with Bitcoin to set the stage for the other coins that I'm about to look at. And like I said, I haven't seen any of them, so this will be a surprise to me. I just tried to quickly add them to the screen. So anyway, we'll go from there. And the last thing I would say is this is a 1, 2, 3. It's a three-wave shape following a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 down and 3 up, right? So that's an A, and this so far is a B. So what do we need next? We need a C. So the question is, does C land here, or does C sort of flatten out somewhere in the range, right? Or obviously this could come down 1, 2, 1, 2, and if we hold support here, right, on this back test zone right in here, right, and if we hold support and we get a strong bounce out of here, then it'll be a 1, 2, 1, 2, right, without taking out this low, and then we can really accelerate for wave 3. So it is yet to be seen what really is going to happen. I don't have an answer for you. The reason why it's so difficult at the moment is because we're right in the middle of the retracement level. Like up here, you can kind of gauge, okay, we have a flat. And then as we come down, okay, yeah, we're in a correction. And then once we have 5 waves, yeah, okay, we need a retracement. But then once we get into the retracement levels, then it's like anybody's guess, right? Because a lot of people take profit. A lot of people are, entering. So it's basically the battle of the bulls and the bears. And, people don't anticipate the move. They just sort of wait for it. That way they can rule out what it isn't. So it is yet to be seen. But I've given a few ideas. Hopefully that's helpful. Now let's move on. The next coin I'm looking at is Algorand. This one's a little bit tricky because it's unlike any other coin. Basically, it's just been in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. So you have this 3-wave move. On the contrary, you have a 3-wave move, right? So pretend if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have a 3-wave pullback. I mean, it seems like it wants to continue breaking higher, or at least until we get a retracement of this wave. So all I got to do is put this here, put this down here, and basically, project somewhere at $1.44 to $2. I would say between $1, just say $1.50 to $2 would be a good target to have for the price of Algorand. And now if we can get through that, then that means we've gotten through a big chunk of the retracement levels. And then I would start to look at all-time highs. So I pull another fib on here, and I would say, okay, what are some of the targets here for Algorand if we decide to break out? Well, the first target would be about that $4.40 to $4.63, all the way up to $7. Now, I don't know if it's capable of hitting a 4.236. It could, but it hasn't proved itself yet. It hasn't even had a bull market, right? It hasn't. I mean, I guess you can say this was a bull market, but it didn't even take out its opening bid right here. So it is yet to be seen. But anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, it looks pretty bullish on the macro. We have 1, 2, right? We have 1, 2. Let me do that one more time. We have a 1, 2. All of this is 3, 4, and 5. And in the third wave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And even in the fifth wave, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're good. This is a completed wave, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't even count this as an impulse anymore because we broke below the bottom. So Algorand hasn't even had a wave 1 yet, right? So a lot of the other coins are going into wave 5s and wave 3s. Algorand really hasn't even had a wave 1, which could be viewed as a good thing, and a bad thing, right? A good thing meaning it has a lot more room and potential to go, and as a bad thing because it hasn't yet proved itself. But I think Algorand is a good, solid project. I mean, it even was endorsed, I think at one point, like Gary Gensler talked about it. They got good technology. It's part of the XRP family. So I think it's got some good potential in the future as far as utility goes. Now, as far as the price goes, I mean, what we can see here is we can see a nice rounded bottom here, right? And then following that, you have this right shoulder and a left shoulder, head, and a right shoulder. So you got this beautiful looking inverse head and shoulders. Now, if I take a measured move of that, I put it at the base here, approximately there, and then I take that and I put it right there. And that gets us right around that 200 week moving average. So yeah, somewhere around this high here, or this low here. So this was the breakdown candle, and we sliced right through it, right? So there's a gap, right? So there's a gap right in here, and usually these gaps get filled on the way back up. So there's a imbalance, right? So yeah, I would say somewhere between 50 and 60 cents. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen today, tomorrow, or next week. I think over time, it should get there. Now, looking at this wave, we do have a 1, 2. We have a 3, 4, and now we're in the middle of the 5. Now let's zoom in. Is the fifth wave complete? It would appear so. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, we have a 5-wave move here. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we have this big rejection, right? This move to the downside. So in my opinion, it lines up again like with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin had a move to the downside, and now it's retracing. So if I put the retracement up, let me get that a little better. So basically, you hit almost the 618. So it had a 618 retrace. So this is sort of the zone where a correction could continue, or at least a correction of this B wave. So basically, like Bitcoin, A, B, C. And that would make sense to me because why? Because you have the bull market support band down here, right? So if Algorand, maybe it goes up a little higher. Maybe it goes up, even a little bit higher than that, right? And then it comes back down. That's fine. That's healthy. It's okay. We're just part of a correction, right? I mean, basically, the only correction it had was this here, right? So if this is going to continue higher, then this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2, then we're going to get a wave 3, right? But here's the thing, we had 5 waves, right? So if we have 5 waves, this thing can get a little bigger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3 down. We could get 3 up and then 3 back down and then go, right? It can get more complex. So but again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But so far, we have we either have a 1, 2, or we're getting a 1 and now soon to be a 2, then a 3, or this is going to be an A, B, C, or like Bitcoin, right? We have a rise, crash, retrace, we come down for reaccumulation, we go sideways in here, right? Kind of develop a base in here and then continue higher. So again, it's very tricky because we're right at that retracement level, but we are following 5 waves. So if I had to really guess, I would say we probably got more correcting to do. Same thing with XRP, right? XRP has this 5-wave move as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got above the bull market support band, right? Or you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's what I would hope. And this is an A, B, and a C, right? Some type of flat. Let me zoom in. So one more time, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we can have an A. We have 3 up for B, and then we come down for C. That's what I'm hoping, right? So an A, B, C, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. And now we're starting to work our way and get our way and continue higher. The problem with that, like I said, was so far we looked at 2 charts, Bitcoin and Algorand. They look more corrective, right? And then so does XRP because, like I said, I think we need more correcting to go. We do have some support in here, right? We came all the way down. We bounced off the bull market support band, bounced off, right? We have this shoulder. We have a head. We have another shoulder. I would like to see it break out. And then, because when you look at XRP, it hasn't even gotten to the retracement levels. So let's see what that is here. So it only got to the 50, right? It hasn't even did a 618. Maybe that's all it got. Maybe it just a 50% retrace and then continued down. So again, it could be, about 3 different ideas, which is rise, crash, we have a retrace, we come down for reaccumulation, and we kind of just, waddle around, as you would say, right? Some people know what I'm talking about. Waddle, it's like every day we're waddling around. Well, what else is going on? Nothing. We're just waddling around. Yeah, but can you say anything else? Anyways, I like to go into more detail. It's totally cool though. I much respect. But anyway, I think we are waddling around, obviously, but I think more than that, it would be good if we had a rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, because we're going sideways on the bull market support band, right? So we're developing this base, this colossal of support, right, on the bull market support band, which is going to be important later when we break out, when we eventually break out. A good example of that, let me show you an example. Well, before I do that, that popped up on my screen on accident. Before I do that, look at this, just to show you, like I said, I was going to show you an example of the why it's good for the price to test the bull market support band. And that would be obviously rise, crash, retrace, and then we go into reaccumulation. But what I want to show you is the example, but before that, the fractal here where we have this chop, 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 we have a slam down, we have this hump, pay attention to the hump, we have a big spike up, we come down, and then we test the bull market support band. Now look at this. Take a mental screenshot of that. So check this out, right? Same kind of thing. We have this chop, chop, chop. We have this big slam down, right? Then we have the hump. Remember the hump. Then we have this big spike to the upside. But here's the important part. Look what happened down in here. So let me zoom in over here. You can see, we have this pump to the upside, and the price, it looked like it was going to go, into a retracement, but it didn't. It just kind of stayed at the bottom here, right? It stayed at the bottom of this wave, and essentially it's testing, right? And it's just basically charging its batteries, right? Until boom, it's all charged up and ready to go. So maybe is that happening now? So if I go back to where we were, and I zoom in, it's not as pretty, that's for sure. But we have this move up, this little hump, this spike, we come back down. So far we got one test. It wouldn't surprise me if we come down. So to me it looks like the market needs to continue to correct. Now, hey, I'll be pleasantly surprised if we continue ripping to the upside. But, we're right in those retracement levels. It's very hard to know. You want to be cautious. More times than not, it continues to correct, especially after Bitcoin ripping that high, right? And then also the flat pattern that Bitcoin created. I was going to talk about that maybe in this video or the next video. Basically saying, what if it's creating a larger flat pattern, right? So the last two times Bitcoin broke above an all-time high, it created a flat, which basically is a fake out. Then it comes back below the all-time high, bull flags, then continues higher. Well, that's already happened, but on the smaller time frame. But let's say it's only beginning, and I'll talk about